Alright guys, I'm finally back at one of my own projects. Get everybody else's stuff fixed once again. The old 5.3 there. So I've got my square body on the hoist. I've got the 350 just about ripped out of it. We're going to rip that 350 out and we're going to jam this 6-liter LS in its guts. I went on Rock Auto last night and ordered my manual flywheel for the 6-liter. And then you order the clutch for the 350. And that 350 clutch will bolt right onto the 6-liter flywheel. That's all I'm told that you need to do this. So this is going to be a live and learn thing, because I haven't actually done this before, but the fellow that told me how to, I trust him because he's done a couple, so I'm sure it'll work out fine. But basically, pretty simple to get that LS out of there, or sorry, get that small block out of there and put that LS in. I've got a standalone harness there. You probably can't see, but it's wrapped up around the engine. Everything's eliminated that don't need to be there. And all I got to do is feed that thing fuel and hook a couple wires up and it runs. So no trouble once that's in the hole to fire it up. But the other thing that you need, obviously, when you do this is you need the new style fuel pump and fuel tank, which I'm going to change the whole tank in this truck. So all said and done, it really shouldn't be too bad of a swap. Should go pretty easy. I lucked out. I paid $1,000 for that 6-liter with the harness and everything, and I got a guy coming today to give me $800 for this 350 that's into it. So basically I'm out $200 to switch this thing over, which is pretty awesome. And this is gonna make a good truck, I think. It was a good truck to start with, honestly, so the old thing's not in too bad a shape. I'm glad I undercoated it 2 months ago before I decided to do this, but anyway, just a little bit extra dirty of a job for going at it. We got these brand new leafs in, the new U-bolts. My new piece that I put in there did a nice clean job. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this build. And it's going to be a hell of a little truck. It's standard, so it's quite a bit of fun to drive. I got the big old gear-driven transfer case, the little 4-speed MUNCIE, and the big bed 350 that's coming out this morning. So that's her, guys. I'll do some more documentation here once the motor's out. We'll show you what it looks like empty. And then I gotta get it off the hoist, probably shove it outside, wait for the rest of my parts to show up, and get that 6-liter dressed up. I ordered some hugger headers, so hopefully I won't have to get into any exhaust clearance issues once I get it in there. And that's her. Well, small block 350's now hanging on the hoist. She's out of the hole. I just, for my sake, where I never done this myself, I measured the distance from the engine casting to the outer edge of the flywheel here. Just a rough reference to make sure when I put the new one in on the new engine that it's going to be similar. But, well, the old rear main seal was leaking bad, and I see the puddle of oil there in the bottom. So there's a case of fucking brake cleaner later before that's dealt with, but we'll get her. Next thing, I'm gonna get that old rusty booster and master cylinder off of there. Got a new one sitting over here on the bench. Hard to believe that clutch is 10 years old, still in pretty good shape. New booster, new master cylinder. Yeah, I was quite surprised how much material was actually left on this thing. But anyhow, I ordered a new high performance one because the 6-liter is going to obviously need a little more grabbing power than this old thing made. So I guess the next step is going to be getting this other motor completely ready. I got to unlock the ECU, the harness is built. Next thing we're going to do is get these motor mounts off and probably fab some motor mounts up, I guess, and while we're waiting for the parts to show up. So this is we're now into the 6 liters going in for sure. It's happening. All right, guys, so the first dilemma putting the LS in the square body is fuel. So I took the fuel sending unit out of the old tank, because the new style tank, there's no way in hell you're fitting that in there. This tank is much shorter. So what I did was I got the hammer out and I smashed the new style sending unit apart. I dissected the pump and we rigged it into the top of this old sending unit. I grounded the ground out to the bottom of it, and I run the positive out through the vent line, and we'll just cap that off with some sealer. And Bob's your uncle, we have fuel and we didn't spend any money. So this is the first step. Next is motor mounts, and then we're waiting on the parts to show up from Rock Auto, and we'll give you a full parts list of everything you need. Alright guys, so yesterday we had the motor in this, the 6 liter, and we bolted it up. And I fabricated up these motor mounts. What we did was we took these plates off of a frame of a 2001 and just kind of set the motor in there, bolted it up, set it where it needed to be, centered it up, and tacked those mounts on there. And then we pulled the motor back out, and I'm pretty sure I got a good bead onto them there. It shouldn't let go. And we're just going to run the factory mounts for the 6 liter onto it. The next issue that we dealt with was the power steering. And this one here, I really found this hard to believe, but God loves Chev. I took the line off the 2001 and it fit right in the steering box of this 84. And yeah, so no issues. It just a matter of threading it in, the way you go. So we've got the new booster and master cylinder on. We got the mounts in. We've got the 6 liter strip down that we can put it in. Just waiting for the clutch, the flywheel, and the pilot bearing, which I'll give you guys the part numbers for at the end of the video. And yeah, we're soon going to be on our way to making this thing rock and roll. Oh, we're still heavy at the square body. We're waiting on parts, and I just want to tell you guys, don't ship stuff through DHL or Purolator. Man, they give you some runaround for stuff. I placed orders a week ahead of the order that I'm now waiting for, and I've already received it from FedEx. But anyhow, that's life. So the first piece of the puzzle that you need to make this all work is this pilot bearing right here, 12557583, and there it is right there. Now you'll notice this bearing does have a taper and does have a ring onto it. The ring goes in, I believe, and I've already checked that the center of this fits the knob coming out of the transmission. And this also fits in the crank, which is hard to see probably, of the 6 liter. So anyhow, that's the first piece of the puzzle that you need to leave the old 4-speed in this and do this swap. So when the rest of the parts arrive, we'll show you what comes next.
I thought it was only right on the outside inside.
So the second piece of our puzzle showed up, and what I ordered was the AMS automotive clutch kit, which is supposedly rated for 100+ horsepower applications over factory, which the 6 liter should be making more than the old 350 did. So these are real nice looking quality parts. I gotta say, I've never seen a clutch design like this. They claim it's good for high horsepower, but it doesn't have the harsh engagement, so you can still actually drive somewhat normal, I guess, with this. But it's kind of interesting looking. From the side, it's these shiny plates. There's actually no material. This is the back, this is the center disc. The material is all these humps. So anyway, this is the so this clutch is for the 350 Chev 1984, and again, this was the better clutch kit that Rock Auto had to order. So the second piece of this puzzle is you need the clutch kit for the original 350. You're not going to use the pilot bearing. I've already given you the pilot bearing number, so this is not used. As you can see, it comes with a heavy duty release bearing, and it shows you the correct way and the incorrect way when you install it. You make sure that the tabs are inside of this, not outside. So pretty straightforward. And now we're just waiting on the flywheel, and I'll get you the part number for that. But through Rock Auto, the clutch I used again, the clutch kit, '04-064 SR200 AMS Automotive. So we're still getting the horse around on our flywheel. Part number right there. And basically it's just taken DHL like 3 weeks and I still haven't gotten this, so we've got pretty much everything else done. I got the brakes are bled. Relocated the battery over to this side. We got the coolant bottle from the newer truck in. We're gonna run the newer style radiator. And the again, the power steering's all hooked up here and everything. So we're literally waiting on this stupid flywheel, and this thing's gonna be done. I had this done weeks ago if it wasn't for that. We put all new lights in it. Looks much better now, I must say. She's coming right along. So hopefully parts will actually show up Monday and we'll be able to get this thing wrapped up and finished. But I didn't want to keep everybody waiting. I've been trying to do this now for like 3 weeks, but waiting on parts is just crazy. So this is where we're at. I just got to run a throttle cable, dump the motor in, unlock the computer, and away we go. Now guys, I just want to shed a little light on a situation here that you might get into. There's a few different flywheels for the 2002 GMC 6 liter 2500. This particular flywheel I would not order. As you see, it doesn't have a very wide face for the clutch to ride on. I was told this flywheel will work, but obviously you're only going to have a small surface area of your clutch riding on this style flywheel, even though this one is listed for the same truck as well. As you can see, this one here, you have much more face for the clutch to sit on. So this is going to be a much better setup for your application and shouldn't have any clutch slipping issues.